Street Fighter IV is the latest iteration of a long-standing, well-respected franchise that fighting game fans everywhere are excited about. The beauty of Street Fighter IV comes from how Capcom has stripped away a lot of the mechanical baggage that accumulated over the years and went back to the basics, while implementing a few very simple, very approachable new systems to make things fresh. The result is an incredibly straightforward game that can be enjoyed on a number of levels. Beginners will recognize classic moves that are easy to execute, and series vets can dive in and start a decade-long analysis of all its subsystems. Street Fighter has always been, at its core, about one-on-one fighting, but Street Fighter IV takes it back to the basics and feels like a throwback to the original Street Fighter II, but with other franchise refinements thrown in. You obviously have the expected assortment of normal attacks and special moves, but each character also has a Super and Ultra combo which feed off of two different gauges. The Super meter builds up as you fight, while the Ultra meter fills as you get hit. The Super meter also governs your X attacks, which power up and modify a character's pre-existing special moves. The newest system in Street Fighter IV is the Focus system, which lets characters charge up an inky black attack which, if it connects, will stun their opponent. There's even more depth to be found in the Focus system though, as you can use it to absorb a single attack while maintaining your posture. This all might sound complicated, but these are more advanced techniques. The greatest thing about Street Fighter IV is that you can play it without taking advantage of these techniques and it still really works well. Casual players will pick up a controller and pull off all these traditional moves without breaking a sweat. There are enough minute points to keep the experience incredibly rich for a long time. The new characters in Street Fighter IV are awesome and definitely add something to the mix. Whether you're dominating the ring with the zany antics of El Fuerte, or you're being all sorts of stylish with Crimson Viper, gamers will fall in love with at least one of the new faces. On the other hand, the roster is filled with an impressive number of classic fighters, including fan favorites like Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li. But Capcom made sure to keep the combat balanced, and it's clear that a lot of thought went into tweaking all the characters. Some fighters, like the infamous T-Hawk, don't show up in Street Fighter IV, but I don't see people complaining about those exclusions anytime soon. Street Fighter IV as a whole looks amazing. It took me a while to get used to the steroid-induced art style, but character models are detailed and have sublimely fluid animations. Even though all the characters are in 3D, it's nice to see that the game is still a 2D fighter at heart. But one big addition to the game is the online support. This will let Street Fighter nuts from around the world compete more easily, though I imagine hardcore players will still stick with local multiplayer. No matter how fast your connection is, playing online still isn't as ideal as there are a few hitches that can interrupt the experience, but for casual players, it'll work just fine. I really only have one major complaint to level at Street Fighter IV. I love anime, but the anime cutscenes that bookend each character's arcade mode are terrible. They tell you almost nothing about the story and they're poorly animated. I would have much preferred to see Capcom use the in-game engine for all its storytelling. Overall, Street Fighter IV is a must-play. It's sharp, elegant, and shows us why the Street Fighter franchise has been around for so long. For the full written review, head over to IGN.com. KO!